Welcome to Dream Healing 1. Dreams. I mean, we've all experienced vivid dreams. So, have you ever wondered what happens to your mind when you go off to sleep? I mean, you only dream when you're in a REM state. That's rapid eye movement. And when we're dreaming, when our eyes are moving from left to right, we get to process a lot of what happened during the day, our past traumas, situations in general, in the form of symbols and metaphor. For some people, it's angels, but it's definitely our unconscious mind trying to communicate with our conscious mind to become aware of things that we can't really be aware of during the daytime. Now, dream analysis and analyzing our own dreams it's a much softer approach, in my opinion, compared to therapies like eye movement desensitization reprocessing that was created by Francine Shapiro. Now, Francine Shapiro she discovered that when she was moving her eyes from left to right during the day, she would feel much less distressed about things that were bothering her. And then she started practicing this with her friends. And then she became a doctor and created the therapy of eye movement desensitization reprocessing that lots of Vietnam vets, people with different types of trauma, sexual, physical abuse in general, have used to heal. Now, you can see an EMDR therapist, and you could also analyze your own dreams until you're ready. Either way, analyzing your dreams is a great way for insight. Jungian analysts do this. My professors that are Jungian analysts also, recommend journaling and writing down your own dreams. This is what I do for myself. And basically, traumas could be very distressing. And, we're lucky that we have these tools to use to, be able to enjoy our lives, or at least make them more pleasant and give them more meaning. So now let's get into neuropsychology, or I am a neurotherapist, and delta waves between 1 to 4 hertz are when we're sleeping, and our cerebellum promotes sleep. And this is when we have our dreams. Delta waves are the primary function for sleep and brainstem activities. And as I said, our cerebellum is associated with delta frequencies. I mean, if we've had wounds or traumatic events happen to us when we were 7 years old, like cognitive therapy on its own won't get us past this event that has, keeps showing up in our present lives. I mean, that's what a trauma is. I mean, I definitely recommend you seeing a therapist. But this is definitely great wisdom and a skill to have in general on your own personal path of healing and creating insight for yourself. I mean, cognitive, if you've been traumatized at 7, whether it's sexual abuse, emotional abuse, seeing your father beat your mother and being afraid that he's going to beat you too, for as an example, we have to really get to a soul level, and dreams are the language of the soul. We have to really get down to a soul level if we want to heal and to feel whole. And, if we do have any dreams, whether it's a person, place, or a thing, which is how we analyze our dreams, we want to ask ourselves, where is this person, place, or thing showing up in my life? If it's not, where is it not showing up in my life? Or where should this be showing up in my life? And these are things to write down in your dream journal every day. So As of today, please keep that dream journal by your bed. And this is to remind your subconscious mind to remember your dreams, so you have something to write when you wake up early in the morning. And obviously, the earlier the better, because that's when stillness happens, when you can't really hear everything. But, follow what's natural to you. And starting with a dream journal by your bed is great practice. And as I said, this isn't lucid dreaming where we're practicing, whatever it is, we're basically manipulating our dream and we're totally consciously aware. You could do that too. This is more depth psychology related. This is really digging deep into this genius that we're unaware of during the daytime. So, it's always a noun in your dream. Spot those. And an affirmation before you go to sleep at night. Whatever affirmations you have, try to also add the affirmation of being committed to remembering your dream. At least the essence, even if you can't remember the details, and what you were communicating between you and another individual, or what was it like, what was the essence between you and this event, this place, this thing. Write your associations down, all your personal associations down to the person, place, thing, and ask yourself the questions that where is it showing up in my life. You don't want to be cut and dry and look for the meaning of your dream on Google, because yes, there are some universal archetypal symbols that this is your inner world, your journey of self-discovery. It's not really for Google to decide. It's really for you to decide. And what you do dream of, when you eventually interpret it, it shouldn't be boring. So when you get the message of your dream, it's kind of like you should say like, whoa, or huh, kind of like it kind of just hits you. That's interpreting. We'll get into that tomorrow. But for today, have a dream journal, have a pencil or a pen with a lighter. You don't necessarily have to turn the lights on. And write down what you dreamt of on the left side. That's how I do it. And all your personal associations with any people, places, or things on the right side. Because it's necessary to see the part of yourself you can't see during daylight if you want insight. This process stimulates your intuition because you're getting guidance on where to go next without having to depend on anybody else. So, kind of interesting, right? Like, how would it feel to not depend on anybody but yourself? So, if you have a dream of ecstatic body sensations, where has it been showing up in your life or shouldn't be showing up in your life? These are the questions you want to ask yourself in the morning. And according to many Jungian analysts, if you have a dream where there's no noise or words, for some it may be irritating or creepy, and for some, a dream with no noise could be incredibly healing. I haven't experienced one, but my professor, Dr. Lionel Corbett, who's a Jungian analyst, has. And for some it could be incredibly restorative than any amount of sleep they've ever had before. Eckhart Tolle has a book called Stillness Speaks. And for those of us that can't really experience that in the daytime, experience it in our dreams. So if somebody dreams of one word, the question is, what's the mystery in my life? that needs to be answered. If you're emotionally stable, if you're just taking this program for curiosity, if your ego is stable and it's not that difficult for you to become present, you can bring your dream figure back to life in the daytime. And they call this active imagination. Now, that would be a separate course, but I basically had it's kind of like I had an injury, and, a Jungian analyst told me to have a conversation with the part of my arm that's painful and that's hurting me. And I'm basically bringing it to life, kind of like how we would a figure in a dream. And please make sure that you're in the right state of mind and that you're healthy and that you're stable before going through these things. Having your own therapist or psychologist in your area would be wonderful. But if you think you're fine, then these are things you can do to build awareness, creativity, and imagination. I also learned that if it was a dream about a coyote, you could bring that coyote back to your waking state and have a conversation with it. So, as I said already, Dr. Lionel Corbett taught me to have a conversation with my injury. And this not only stimulates your imagination, but for me, isn't it Einstein that said imagination is more important than knowledge? So just think of the journey you've just began, if you are a beginner. And there's lots of people that will tell you what your dream means for you, but I'm training you to be independent and to trust yourself and to be responsible for your own choices. But like I said, yes, there are some universal archetypes, like in Jungian psychology, they call it the puya, or, kind of like the Peter Pan syndrome, where your childlike self. I have that, for example, the President Bill Clinton had it. He was a puya. He was the president, an older man, but he still loved to play the saxophone. So there's still a part of him that's very playful and doesn't want to grow up. And you could be the president and accept the responsibility of the world, but there's some things you don't want to accept responsibility in. For example, like your relationships. So you could be a puya when it comes to relationships. So, some say, what's a falling dream? Are you falling into place? It could also be about having faith during change. And this can be triggering and not pleasant, but write down the dream so you can eventually move away from it. Like, where is this showing up in your life? I personally used motivational interviewing on someone that had flying dreams, and I realized that the point of flying was reaching wholeness. For some people it could be overestimating their capability. That's why I always respected the boxer Oscar De La Hoya. He knew his capability of not being able to finish a fight, so he didn't let his pride get to him. And for a boxer, that's kind of a big deal. I think I remember being naked in a dream when I was young, but honestly, it can mean a million different things. So that's why, if you do have a dream of being naked, you're a person, you're a noun. Write down all your personal associations to being naked on the right side. It can mean not having boundaries. I certainly didn't when I was younger. I didn't understand. Beautiful babies are born naked. And another Jungian analyst shares how many kids have dreams of being naked the night before showing up to a test unprepared. Preparedness makes us powerful. So what do you need to prepare for? And anticipate what might happen. I've had naked dreams during COVID where I ask myself, where am I not following along in my life? Sometimes it's very difficult for me to become conscious of it, but as I ask of it, as I meditate on it, even while I'm driving, sometimes it comes to me when I least expect it. I've also learned from Jungian analysts that teeth grinding, things with love, play, deal with teeth grinding. I'm having dreams of teeth. It could deal with articulating speech, or I also learned that teeth could deal with pleasure, sexuality, sensuality. Where am I losing ability to give pleasure? Losing hair. I did have a dream of losing hair once, and I wish I knew this earlier. I was losing strength. Where am I losing my ability to generate ideas? And that's exactly what was happening. So I literally had to take a step back and do my self-care and meditate and become aligned again for ideas to flow to me. When I was in the Los Angeles Rowing Club, that was my form of meditation. I'd wake up at 5 in the morning. I'd go out into the ocean. There was 5 or 6 people, a part of a soul of the boat, and I was so in the moment, so present, that during that quiet time, the answers to questions would just come to me. Ideas would just come to me. So please do this tonight. Do your affirmations, hopefully for 30 days. Or until you start to begin to remember your dreams. Leave your dream journal by your bed. And when you wake up, a part of any other ritual you might be doing that's been beneficial for you, get used to writing down your dreams. And if you don't like writing them down, I personally now voice memo my dreams. So that's a great way of coming back to it. So, since today is day 1 of dream healing, some of us might have not recorded our dreams the night before because this is, we're beginners. So when it comes to healing in general, you didn't just come here to learn dreams. You came here to dream heal. And when it comes to healing, it's not really what was done to you. It's what was done to you did to you. And to heal yourself today, I want you to invest 30 minutes a day for mindfulness to ground yourself. This is wonderful. If you do this, not just today, but one day a week, you could really be a healing presence in the world. Now, precognitively, just understanding the messages in your dreams, as I said before, won't heal you. So please don't forget your nightly affirmations of commitment to remembering your dream. If you didn't have a dream, and if you have time, please write a storyline from pre-birth until now. This will be the story of your bodily health. And the purpose is to have clarity so you're not living under this foggy cloud, so you can see better than most people. I mean, this on its own could save you thousands of dollars in therapy. So I don't want you to burn yourself out. This is if you feel called to it. Today might not be your time, but if you never do it, you might not ever do it and get started. So if you have, nothing better to do, please, on the left side of the paper, write an arrow. Now, I got this from my neighbor, Dr. James Finley, who's a trauma therapist. I'm a neurotherapist. I do dialectical behavior therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy. I've been the clinical director of multiple treatment facilities. And I want to keep expanding and growing. So Jungian psychology is something really new to me. But I'm from Venice Beach. My neighbor, Dr. James Finley from Santa Monica, I learned this from him. So what he does is, on a paper, you draw an arrow across, and on the left, you start with pre-birth, every bodily harm that was ever done to you up till now on the right. So on the right, that's present. So if you did experience bodily harm, write down what happened on this timeline from pre-birth until now. What did you do to heal from that? Write that down. And were there any results? And how did it contribute to your process of who you are today? I mean, how are you suffering today? And what are you doing about it? Have you done anything about it? These are questions to ask yourself. This isn't for guilt, shame, judgment. It's to really know where you're at. It's a part of creating insight for those of us that might struggle in the beginning to analyze dreams and to understand our unconscious. So, when it comes to healing, it's not what was done to you. I'm excited to see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining for more examples on dreams. And we're really going to get into the meat of this tomorrow. And this is just to pre-program your subconscious psyche. And you'll definitely see me speaking in person tomorrow. Bye-bye.